I want you to know that there's gold inside of you. There's so much you carry on the inside. A gold in its raw form is very ugly, but it passes through the fire before it's refined for you to see the gold you see and appreciate.
You're listening to Blue Radio, bringing the vibe.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning and welcome to the Breakfast Vibe Show. Another good morning right here in Kenya, my homeland. And this morning, as every other morning, I do have special guests, looking sharp gentlemen. And if you're not watching this, but take my word for it. If you are a lady and you're in the building, hapa Kenya tunasema hiyo imeenda. That's how we say it here, yeah? But all that aside, I have two fantastic gentlemen with me. Good morning, my brothers. I'd like to start from my father's left. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
My name is Mitch Masharia. I am very fine.
Okay.
And it's a pleasure to be here.
All right, the pleasure is ours. Next to him.
Okay, I'm Divine Dogbeda Azuma from Ghana.
Please, let's take it from the top again. Because I see my colleagues are staring at me and I know they have not gotten those names. Let me start again.
All right. So I'll start very slowly this time so that everybody can get me. My name is Mitch Masharia Madheri. I am Kenyan. I'm from Nairobi. And it's a pleasure to be here.
Wagwan Mitch, karibu sana.
Okay, I'm Divine Dogbeda Azuma from Ghana, and I'm loving it right here in Kenya.
You know, Wagwan Divine, asante tena sana. Now, I want to start this conversation where I should be starting off from the top. If you are in Kenya, one thing is trending. Not only in Kenya, but Africa. Guys in Ghana are saying right now in West Africa, in North Africa, that Kenya is the giant of Africa. Divine, you've seen the protests happening. You've seen Kenyan youths on the streets. You see what they're doing. As a youth, as a young man, what is your assessment of the situation?
Well, I personally think it's normal for the youth to indulge in such a thing, because when the youth gets tired, that's what happens. So it's normal, but that doesn't take away the beauty of Kenya. I think I love it here. I really, really do. Yeah.
Asante tena sana. Now, hapa karibu nyumbani, Mitch. You know, you're from the city. You're from the capital.
Yeah.
You're seeing what's happening, man. You know, could you speak to us? What's your perspective on the issues happening in our country?
Well, I'll just try and be very brief because it's a very, very sensitive topic. But what I can say is for sure, what is going on right now, these are not the Gen Zs who are protesting. We've been infiltrated. I was there, by the way. Last week I was there in the protest in Nairobi, and it was very peaceful. There was no theft. There was no kind of mischief going on Tuesday. But now some people have taken advantage. The criminals, they're actually out there. Yesterday when I was coming to Mombasa, you will not believe, on the streets were blocked, and those people were asking for money to let cars to pass by.
What?
Yeah, that's not Gen Zs those are not Gen Zs who are protesting. So that's all I can say for now. So when you hear some of the politicians talking about these things and the police are very concerned, let's, as much as we know that we are facing these problems, let's also try and consider that these other people are also people, and they also have their own opinions on these kind of things, and they might be right on some things, that there might be criminals who are infiltrating these peaceful protests. Yeah, that's all I can say.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, go on. I want us to start from an interesting point of view, yeah? You guys are here at Diani for a purpose. I'd like us to start from there. What is your purpose, being here for the 2 days, representing your organizations? I'd like us to start from, what organizations do you represent? And for your time here for the 2 days, what do you expect, to tap into from this event? Let me start with you, Divine.
Okay, so I'm from One Testy Ventures Ghana, and the meaning of One Testy is wondrous testimonies. Yeah, so we're here in Diani for a purpose, like you said. Everybody has a story to tell, and then we're here to tell our story. So in Ghana, we're into catfish farming, but what makes us stand out is the fact that we use a recirculating aquaculture system. So what that does is you don't change the water. Instead of changing water every now and then, the same water you start with, you can use it for a very long time because the recirculating aquaculture system has some filtration system in there. So it draws out the waste, filters the water, and pumps it back. But we realized that now production has surged, but the demand hasn't kept pace. So what we're trying to do is to shift from just offering raw catfish and now processing it to catfish fillet, canned catfish, and all that. So we've started, and then it looks like that's the solution to the whole issue in the catfish market. So within these 2 days here in Diani, we're here to tell the story, and we hope to secure some fundings. And aside that, too, I've met some amazing people, so I think the networking too is very solid over here. Yeah. Thank you.
All right. Go on. What about you, Mitch?
Mine is very different from my colleague here. I'm an engineer by profession, and our business is just a startup for now. So what we're focusing on is we're trying to solve the energy problems that we have in the world, basically. So currently, I'm sure you guys know that we use fossil fuels as our main source of fuel. But what we're trying to do is we're trying to use hydrogen. And how do we get that hydrogen to serve our basic need for energy? We use electrolysis of water, you know.
Yeah.
Now, this is, to put it in simple terms, you can have a device or a car or something that generates electricity from water. That's, to put it in simple terms. Yeah. So far, what we've done so far, we have built an electrolyzer from scratch, just our own electrolysis machine. So our next step is to take engines, just normal engines, car engines, motorcycle engines, and convert them to run on hydrogen. Yeah, that's basically what we do. So I am here today to just, meet people, find people who can help us on the way along the line, maybe people who are in the blue economy, who are very invested in energy, and so on. Yeah.
All right. And being young entrepreneurs, founders and leaders, in this space, it's not easy, because sometimes you'll hop onto the stage and as a moderator, I'll look at this young man, well dressed, well presented, you have good ideas, but not all the time, your ideas do sell to the moderators, or I would say guys holding the cash. Yeah, it's a brutal world. How prepared are you guys for whatever may come your way on these 2 days? Let me start with you, Mitch.
That's a very good question, actually. To put it in simple terms, I'm always prepared for the worst, and I'm always open to the best. For example, this is not the first time that I'm pitching this what we're doing.
Yeah.
I've been to other events, and those other events, they were not really centered around focusing on energy problems. And I can tell you that what Kenyans say, niliona dust. In short, yeah. So I'm very prepared for whatever comes by the way, and I'm just here to pitch my idea, meet people. If the least I can get out from here is just meeting new people. For example, I've met you here today. Yeah. So I'm prepared. I'm prepared for anything.
You are ready for anything.
Yeah.
That's the mentality, man. What about you?
Okay, I think I share in his opinion too. So I try to be positive all the time, and as much as maybe there can be negatives around, but I try to always focus on the positives, to be very optimistic all the time, so that I came all the way from Ghana. Yeah, it's far. I sat in the plane for a very long time. Yeah, so I try to be positive, right? But in scenarios where I don't want to even say it, yeah, I try to be positive all the time. So yeah, I'm very hopeful. I think I'll leave it there.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. As we conclude, gentlemen, there is something. The UN conference was held in Bonn. I don't know if you follow that up, but this leads to COP29 in Azerbaijan and something like that. Yeah. But the key issue in that conference was climate change and areas of blue economy financing. Yeah. So how do countries in Africa get access to funding? Let's say their grants, their loans. And one of the major issues has been pledges will be made, monies will be collected, but monies never come to you as startup, and that is a very, very big issue, especially for Africa. Yeah, as problem solvers for the continent, how do you plan to navigate this field or these challenges? I'd like to start with the engineer.
Very good. I like being called engineer. Huh? But as of now, legally speaking, you cannot call me engineer until I am fully registered by the Engineers Board of Kenya. But yeah, I like that. So that's a very good question. Huh? What you've just said is very, very true. And these are the kind of things that Gen Z are talking about right now. This is what we are trying to raise awareness of. You find these good European Union events, they allocate money, but the money never reaches these startups. You get? Yeah. And this is the biggest problem that we face, not only in Kenya, throughout the entire Africa. And I think this is what now we start realizing here in Kenya, that, we are young people, we are all connected. For example, I can talk to him when he's in Ghana, and we can spread the message along. This is the era of information. And information cannot be hidden. So now, using the digital media, the social media platforms that we have, we can make sure that there's information, because these greedy people who steal this money, they try and keep it on the hush. Just make sure it's exposed. Just make sure it's out there. Make sure that people know that this money was given.
Yeah, this money was
given. The European Union gave this money to these people. Now, we need to hold them accountable. And also, again, just maybe to try and uphold, maybe on the European Union side, they should not just give the money, they should hold people accountable. They should tell them that, these are the consequences of not delivering these funds to the places that you said you would. Yeah. That's pretty much it.
All right.
Okay, great. So I think this is actually another issue over here in Africa where funds are given out but never reaches these startup groups. And then, like he said, accountability is very key when it comes to some of these things. I believe the donors shouldn't just give out their money, but sometimes once in a while they can send a team to visit the project site, to also, because sometimes if you ask for reports, anybody at all can just forge something and then send it to you. But if you have a follow-up team who maybe every now and then follow up on it in person, actually, where they visit the sites, see if, like, they give timelines to projects. So maybe within 1 to 3 months, we expect that your startup is up to this point, so that on the 3rd month we see for ourselves, then we release the next set of funds. I think when they move in that direction will really help.
All right. It is a fantastic morning, ladies and gentlemen. We're just having some interesting conversations right here. I can see time is not on our side. I'd like to release the gentleman in front of me, and before I let you go, I'd like to give you 1 minute each, to talk to any young person listening to us this morning. They don't have maybe a purpose, they don't have a direction. Some of them have not discovered, the vast blue and the opportunities it has for the continent. You are there as, I would say, missionaries. The stories you used to learn about missionaries coming to a certain place, discovering our lakes and our rivers. You guys are discovering new universes and new planes. Send a message to anyone listening in, especially to the young women and men listening to us.
All right. Thank you. That's actually a very good way to close off the session. So my message to any young person who is listening in and you feel like you don't have any purpose, I just want to remind you, you're a social being. That means that you're required to socialize with other people. Start with that. Don't try and cut yourself off from the world, first and foremost. Go and meet as many people as you can. Even if you don't have the money, meeting people is free, Just meet as many people as you can, and that's how you build yourself. You start getting into a field. And what people say is that this is a world of connection. The more people you know, the greater your network is, the better you are off. So start off from that, and you will find your way along the line. You will find your purpose, I guarantee you.
All right. Thank you. Finally, Divine.
Okay. So to all the young people out there listening to me, I want you to know that there's gold inside of you. There's so much you carry on the inside. A gold in its raw form is very ugly, but it passes through the fire before it's refined for you to see the gold you see and appreciate. So in as much as the climate in Africa, the situations in Africa are not so conducive, those are the fire purifying what you have on the inside. So don't give up. Even when you feel like giving up, just encourage yourself. Just keep on keeping on. By the time you realize, the gold will be there. Thank you very much.
All right. I love that. You have gold in you, and you have to take time to understand how and when it came to be. Good morning, Africa. Good morning, Kenya. This is the Breakfast Vibe Show on Blue Radio. It is exactly 8:31 in the morning. To see and experience some of these great minds that Africa has to offer, then the place to be is Diamonds Hotel, Diani, live and direct.